Ridgid expands their Octane lineup.
And Stihl teaches us how to mow a lawn.
Finally.
And you've got a chance to win a Bulldog from Bosch.
It's Friday, November 30th.
This is your Cop Tool Week in Review.
Ridgid's onward march towards Octane dominance continues this week, and we have Tool Craze to thank for the info. Over the last week, Javier has posted 3 different articles featuring new Ridgid Octane tools, including a one-handed recip, a 3 1/4 inch hand planer, and a pair of grinders. At this point, we're starting to think we're going to have to take Ridgid Octane seriously, and that means we're going to have to take Tool Review Zone seriously, and I don't think any of us are ready to do that. Now, we kid because we love. You can read these 3 articles over at toolcraze.net.
Bill over at Sparky Channel showed off the new DeWalt Cordless 60-volt Max concrete saw this week. I had a chance to try the saw myself back at World of Concrete, and it was no joke. The Sparky Channel does an excellent job of demoing the cordless beast in a variety of concrete and metal cutting situations. He walks through the many features and even gives us some basic concrete cutting tips. He makes a case for its cost, comparing it to the cost of hiring someone else to cut your concrete for you. Of course, if you only have to make one cut that one time and you already told your wife it would be done right, you might want to pay a bro. #regret. You can see Bill's video on Sparky Channel on YouTube.
Before I get to this next segment, I want to make sure that you're sitting down, because we have some tips from Stihl that will very likely blow your mind. But first, Stihl posted a new video this week with an inspirational montage. It shows off their new pro-level cordless OPE tools in the hands of probably not actors. We saw this new line at STAFTA and we came away impressed. But what good are these tools if you don't know how to use them? Well, that brings me to Stihl's other new video. Brace yourself for how to mow your lawn properly in just 4 easy steps. Just mow high, mow often, mow differently, and mow maintenance? Okay, if you're not as easily impressed as Rob is, you can check out both Stihl videos on YouTube.
I finally have a clear head. Anyways, who's ever heard of TTI? They're a tiny little tool company that owns other tool companies like Ridgid, Empire, Ryobi, Milwaukee, and a bunch of others. 3 of those make jigsaws, so Brian over at Workshop Addict decided to get the 3 together and point out some similarities between them. His review is actually focused on the new Ryobi P524, which, as he points out, looks almost identical to the Ridgid. If only I knew someone who opens up power tools to give us inside looks.
I'm busy.
Brian puts the jigsaw through its paces and says that it's total garbage because it's not a barrel grip.
Not true.
All right, maybe it's not true, but to be sure, you'll have to visit Workshop Addict on YouTube.
Don't you just hate it when you find yourself staring at a USB port and wondering, what's going on in there? Okay, I might be reaching this time, but it turns out there's a lot of info to be found if only you have the right tool. The dynamic duo over at Tools in Action reviewed the Klein USB multimeter this week and almost completely revealed all the secrets of USB. Doesn't sound exciting? Well, Dan has news for you.
This is the coolest thing I've ever seen from Klein. I'm gonna say it right now.
I'm honestly not sure if that says more about Klein or Dan. The USB multimeter has a lot of interesting features, all of which Dan reviews in detail. We watched the video and we're not completely convinced that we need one of these unique tools, but then again, we could watch these 2 talk all day. If you don't think you want one, just jump to the 6:30 mark where they decide to discuss old infomercials. Somehow making that fun too. Well, you can find them at Tools in Action on YouTube.
Well, we were promised greatness, and this last week, Rob Robillard delivered.
Congratulations! You pronounced Rob Robillard's name correctly.
Oh my gosh! Did I? I'm so proud. There's so many people that I want to thank. Mainly the guys over at Toolbox Buzz that posted their 20-minute opus comparing just about every modern half-inch hammer drill head-to-head. Rob outdid himself this time, which is no small feat, building an ingenious testing sled and putting his entire staff to work comparing every single feature these drills have to offer. If you plan to buy a drill at all this coming year, this is the only video you need to watch. You can find it and the detailed article at toolboxbuzz.com.
After you buy your drill, you're going to want a project to use it on. And for that, we'll once again head over to Sarah's shop for her project of the week.
Thanks, Scott. First up this week, 4 Eyes Woodworking and Design posted a video on YouTube where Chris shares how to build a nightstand with a hidden charging station. Chris walks us through why he chose the retrofit removable plate and some of the complications that he went through along the way. I really liked that he used traditional hand tools but also included more modern technology like the CNC machine. It is a longer video coming in just under 16 minutes, but it's worth a watch and the subscribe. Check out Four Eyes Woodworking and Design on YouTube. Next, we are headed to Texas for winter. I wish. Anyway, April Wilkerson posted a video this week on YouTube where she shows us how she made a dust collection cart for her rigid vac, separator, sanders, sandpaper, and other accessories. So if you're sick of dragging all of your gear around your shop and you're looking for a better storage solution, or you just want to watch someone else who just gets stuff done, be sure to check out April Wilkerson on YouTube. Finally, if you have any spare railroad rail lying around and you're in need of an axe, well, you're in luck. Tomas shared his vision where he truly takes someone else's trash and turns it into an axe. In this mesmerizing 11-minute video, he uses mainly a grinder to turn an old scrap piece of rail into a gorgeous, shiny double-bit axe. Check out Tomas on YouTube. Those are my picks this week. If you find a project that you think that I should feature next week on our show, go ahead and email me at projects@koptool.com. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Sarah. The Rigid Palm Impact, a tiny pressure-activated wonder that I personally own, use, and love. So, of course, one of my favorite tool testers of all time hates it. Makes sense. AVE posted another bolter this week, taking over just 22 minutes to take it apart, break it, put it back together, and finally test it out.
So something up.
Something really wrong with that order. I should be upset by this considering my love for the little impact, but somehow AVE uses his colorful metaphors to completely convince me that my own experience isn't relevant. If anything, I sincerely enjoyed watching him take it apart, and I'm willing to bet you will too. You can find him, as always, at AVE on YouTube.
Now, every once in a while, useful, high quality, and entertaining content emanates from our very own channel here at Koptool. Just not today. But earlier this week, Scott shared another inside look with us. This time, he replaced me with a giant Weeble Wobble. This crazy looking buoy is actually the Wobble Light from ProBuilt Lighting. The 31-pound job site light produces an astounding 15,000 lumens, nearly double that of competing 360 lights from the big brands. Scott tested on the job site and, of course, takes the light apart for our inside look, revealing 6 panels of ultra bright LEDs, making this our brightest co-host yet. You can find the full video right here on our YouTube channel.
Milwaukee just announced a pair of new additions to their wildly popular steel storage series, including a 40-inch mobile workbench and a 56-inch steel storage cabinet. The workbench can be optioned with either metal or wood top. It features an 1,800 weight capacity, built-in power center, and 5-inch industrial casters, so you can roll it wherever it's needed. The new 56-inch storage cabinet is significantly more robust, boasting a 3,000-pound capacity and 18 drawers for storage. It's also deeper than Milwaukee's other steel storage solutions, sporting a peak depth of 22 inches. And what storage cabinet wouldn't be worth its weight without USB ports? And finally, this is their first edition to feature an electronic lock to keep your tools safe from Steve. Don't touch my tools, Steve! Both editions will be available at select distributors in January.
It's time to check in with Instagram. We can start with Keeper the Toolaholic himself, who posted a short video of the all-new DeWalt DCL 074 LED work light. The 5,000 lumen light can either be plugged in or run for up to 11 hours on a 6 amp hour 20-volt battery. It also works with DeWalt's Connect app, allowing you to adjust the brightness, turn it off and on, and even find the thing if you lose it. Mounting the light's a breeze thanks to the built-in Raptor hook and a pair of threaded inserts to accommodate tripods. Now, unfortunately, this light doesn't wobble, but it's still worth a look. You can read more at Toolaholic on Instagram.
Tools by Design showed off a bit of innovation from the king of multi-tools, Fine USA. He demonstrates the ability to swap between 18-volt and 12-volt batteries on the same tool, utilizing Fine's multi-volt tech that was launched last year. He doesn't mention a drop in power output, but math and science would suggest as much. Fine's multi-volt feature is currently found on select drill drivers, impact wrenches, nibblers, shears, and of course, the supercut. We love the idea of being able to grab a lower voltage battery in a pinch, leading us to wonder if other tool manufacturers are considering this move as well. You can see it in action at Tools by Design on Instagram.
We're almost done, but before we go, it's time to turn down the lights, lean back in your chair, and watch Built by Nate slowly pour oil over his newly turned hammer. What? Don't look at me like that. This is his music, and we dig it. It's perfect for getting us in the mood to start a weekend of projects. What? I'm not the only guy enjoying this.
Yes, you are.
Whatever. if you could use a few moments to recover from your week, be sure to follow Built by Nate on Instagram.
Weird. Well, that's it for us this week. We hope you found our roundup useful. If so, help us continue to produce this fine show by subscribing, giving us a thumbs up, and forcing your extended family to watch.
All good ideas, Scott.
Thank you.
Plus, you just might win something. We want to congratulate Lindsay Hahn for winning our Milwaukee 3-inch cutoff tool. If you're not Lindsay, then tragically you didn't win again. But good news, you're totally gonna win this next one. And this time we're giving away a Bosch 1-inch Bulldog Extreme SDS Plus rotary hammer drill.
Ooh, to enter, just follow the link below over to koptool.com/contest. Also, if you're already in the market for a Bosch tool, Ohio Power Tool is featuring $50 off a $200 Bosch purchase, but it ends November 30th. And that's tonight. You can find a link to the sale below.
Now, last of all, Jay was clearly jealous of Sarah's new baby, so he decided to go have another one of his own.
What?
He did. We want to congratulate our own Jay Amstutz, who welcomed a second baby into the world this week. Well done, Jay. All your hard work finally paid off.
Hey,
We hope your wife and your baby are both doing well.
We'll see you next week.
bye.